welcome to Echoes, Echoes, Echoes of Mana, Mana, Mana. I'm Bring Stabity, the stabbiest stabby that ever stabbied, and this is a chill after midnight stream. Where sometimes we can use the boring voice of NPR radio. However, I'd rather prefer just a nice and cozy stream. Nice and relaxing the way we like. As you can see, I have made a mistake today. I let my stamina reach cap. However, taking a look at the when I last played, it definitely wasn't much above an hour or so. So we're still good here. Anyway, let's continue. Our login bonus. Oh yes, and this is day 21, wrapping up week 3 of this. And Weiss says, a boring voice. How appropriate for House Weiss. Yes, in Weiss's LP, so many of his characters have the boring personality trait. Anyway, there we go. That is 200 spirit crystals for wrapping up the end of another week-long login bonus. As I was saying, we've reached 21 days, so that is our third week-long login board completed. You'll want to go back to the earlier episodes to check out what it looks like, because sadly, I can't show it for you. Anyway, let's move on. Missions. Got almost all of them, however, we're one training mission short. Dailies, as you can see, we just got the usual ones. We'll collect all, you know and love all of them. All that's left is to clear a training dump, which we will do. I certainly promised that. However, first, we're going to come in here and go to Allies. And I'm going to see how long I can keep up this voice, because I'm going to start laughing at myself shortly. Until I do, we need to let it continue. Anyway, Reese has her mana board as far up as it can go. Duran, however, does not. We unlocked some more levels for him, and we have exactly enough medals to get him up to level 10 on everything. Use 21 out of 21. We get a little boost on every single one of his stats. And can't make any further forward progress until we gain him up to level 86. However, his level cap is 83, so that's not happening. Anyway, continuing on. Excuse me. A little bit of saliva came in the wrong way. Ooh. What is this ominous thing that Enweiss has linked? Oh, it's a kitty popping out of a hole. In a desk? Yes, looks like a kitty popping its head out of a hole in the desk. Wow, so cute. Popoi also is maxed out for now. However, here we are, Prim. It's going to require a little bit of upgrading, so let's show her some love. Unlock, boom, we get 4 stats upgraded. However, she still has a long way to go, but it's the bronze medals that are actually holding us back. It turns out that the trader in the shop is actually somewhat useful. So let's go to the shop, and I do have something to complain about in my boring voice. I'm going to show you something outrageous, something absolutely outrageous. In fact, can't you hear from my voice just how outraged I am? In fact, it's something that actually makes me worry about the long-term playability of this game. Why, here it is. Launch Party 4S Memo Gem Echo Pack. For $40, you can get enough memory gems to pull once. It's almost enough for 2 pulls, but not quite there. You need 5,400. You need 5,400 to do 20 pulls. Well, 20, 210 pulls. And this is not enough. At 48, call it 49. At 4,900, you're still 500 gems short of 2 10 pulls. Now you do get that 4-star draw ticket. However, you still don't know what you'll get. You'll just get a random memory gem. You don't know which one it is. So that's never good. It's and yeah, they're basically asking you to pay $40 to draw, well, let's do the math. Let's say we did 27, and then we go 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48. So that's 7. You could do 7 pulls plus the guaranteed 4-star memory gem. That is an absolutely terrible deal. Why would anybody pay $40 for that? And unfortunately, none of these other packs make any more sense. That really is the problem. I have promised to drop $20 onto this game, but I just don't see where I can spend it in good conscience. None of these packs are acceptable to me. Anyway, in the event that Genshi is on, NY says, gotcha shit is, shall we say, shit. Yes, that I will admit this is one thing that I was rather worried about when we found out that Right Flyer Studios was making this game, because I've played, shoot, now I don't even remember what their, what the other game that I was played, my goodness, it is completely slipping my mind. Let me do a quick search. We are going for Right Flyer Studios. What is the game that they are famous for? Come on. Your brain is working very well? No, my brain most certainly is not working very well. I may be using a little bit of too much of the too much of the NPR voice, and that's making me go stupid. Anyway, Right Flyer Studios, Another Eden. That's the game that I'm looking for, Another Eden. They have a $6 monthly card, which is, totally acceptable in my view. But then they also have a $25 super monthly card. So they're basically asking you to, say, spend out $31 per month just on the monthly cards. And they are required for some of the events. NY says, well, NPR does have a positive correlation with stupidity, or at least lies. That is correct. However, it also has a positive correlation of people thinking that because the host is so boring, he must be smart in telling the truth. So, yeah, that was my bitching about the shop. However, we do want to use the monoboard coin trader for now, because we have Sylphid Copper. Yes, we want to trade some of the that should be good. We'll trade away 30 of our Sylphid Silvers to get 60 Sylphid Coppers. We don't want to trade too many. And NY says that the shopkeeper is shamelessly bouncy. She really is. She is a very bouncy individual. And when we first entered the shop, she did say that all shopkeepers have a special dance that they have. Anyway, let us go back to our allies, because Prim deserves a little further upgrading. So let us go back to her monoboard, and from these unlock everything. Nope, our coppers are still holding us back. However, I think we're good for now. No more wasting time here. Randy will be working on you a little bit later. Sumo, though, you are as far as you can go for the moment. Shiloh, though, you are one more away. Specifically 4 gold medals away from being there. Prim to win. says Enweiss. Yep, there is Shiloh. He can gain a few more levels. Up to 74, yes. He will be able to unlock board 8 when he gets up to level 74. Until then, he is about as far as we can go. Now, this is Angela back down to... Oh no, this is still 4-star Angela, excuse me, my bad. She will be getting all of these lovely water medals that we have. So we will be able to upgrade her a decent bit. And we'll be getting her in. However, she is at 4 stars plus a 0, so she is somewhat of a lower priority for us at the moment. NY says, swimsuit sorceress, how silly. Yes, but she is a water elemental, so the swimsuit outfit actually fits quite well with her. However, we also have the... where was she? Here she is. We also have the fire version of Angela, and, well, she wears the exact same outfit. So it's not just a joke about the fact that she's a water sorceress in that skill. That is just her outfit. However, with that done, it is time for us to go to quests and clean things out a little bit. NY says, I believe the term for what she's wearing around her waist is a butt cape. Yeah, I will accept that. I will accept that. Now, we will start off by going to training, and in fact, we'll go to Dusk Altar Vigil. Now, because we are on NPR voice mode, I will not be exerting myself in any way. We shall simply set auto venture with a limit of 1 and allow the game to play for itself. Although, of course, that isn't completely at odds with NPR's belief systems. I believe that the aesthetic fact of staying quiet is more important than having any sort of consistent ideology as we make this joke. That is going to last for this entire episode if I can manage that. However, auto mode will not be able to last for this entire episode, because sadly we will be reaching levels that I do actually need to manually control. Now, unfortunately, these, are they mushbooms? I believe they're called mushbooms. They are rather annoying, they stun you, they really lock you down. However, our party is so strong that it does not matter. NY says contrary to NPR because it's not being a control freak over others. Exactly. On the other hand, we are allowing for Duran to be a toxic male, so you could argue that we are violating NPR's ideology right there. He should be a much more sensitive character, and not someone that is prone to using his sword to achieve his aims. He should sit down and show his emotions and show his inner vulnerability. In fact, we would strongly recommend that he attend a therapy session. And now Duran is not married. However, if he was married, we would strongly advise him to come to a therapy session so that we could convince him to allow his wife to have a boyfriend. Enweiss says, letting Morgan to be a white supremacist is also contrary. Yes, it is. Don't you know that that being a fan of an African billionaire means that you are a white supremacist? Even when said fictional billionaire is black, unlike the world's richest African right now, Elon Musk. I do wish to remind everybody that if you have a problem with Elon Musk buying Twitter, you are in fact opposed to the to an African American success story in America. I was not able to say that with a straight face. I must apologize sincerely. Now, we have finished all of our daily missions. We got a few more SP refills. I'm definitely going to need to use more of them because I'm drawing up what one might call too big of a reserve. Now let us go back to our quests. We are at 5-2 on very hard. I'm quite happy with that. However, at the moment, I believe I would rather go back to chapter 3 and see if we can't perhaps beat the boss battle, which we passed with a mere C rank, and since the level requirements are relatively lower compared to where we are at now, with a mere 5800 times 6, and even Prim, who is not part of the main party, is actually almost there. Now Angela, of course, is not there, because she is, that is not her intention, actually. No, her goal is to have that fire, and I believe that she does have a party effect. If I can just recall what that party effect was. What? Is it here? Yes. Support skill. Int plus 6% continuous. Yes, the plus 6% int continuous is a very good partner skill to have with Popoi. She is enhancing Popoi's intelligence and therefore her ability to deal damage with fire. Now, unfortunately, this boss is weak to water, and that is an element that we have not yet mastered. If we had Angela leveled up and properly equipped and properly trained, she would serve very well here. However, that is something we do not have. So, let us fight Armor Guardian lurking deep very hard, and see if we can perhaps get an S rank, and have all of our characters survive this time. Because last time, we did not get even close to an S rank, and one of our characters perished in the battle. We will pay our respects for him. However, as this is NPR, we do not believe that he is in any sort of afterlife. So we will be avoiding that, any sort of mention on that front. And we must leave full auto. Yes, cancel body skip. I must apologize. I did not intend to leave this on auto battle. I intend to be a control freak on this battle. And we will be, attacking with the, oh darn. I was going to say our full might. However, our full might seems to have, been hit by, this boss, and Duran has already lost, half of his HP. This is, very unfortunate. However, now that he's been weakened, we can use the Mega Spirit Magic, weaken him, have Sumo get in. Unfortunately, we were a little too late with this, and no, Sumo's ST was mostly wasted. Nonetheless, I believe it is best for Sumo to retreat to safety, cast a little defensiveness on himself, and begin healing the party. First on Reese, then dodging once again, and then on Popoi. There, that is better. And we can cast another Mega Spirit Magic Fire while he is down. Again, not the element that he is weak to, but sometimes you just have to deal with what you get. Sumo, please step away. Very good. I appreciate that. Nope, that was not good enough. That was, in fact, an AoE. Now, Sumo, begin by healing Reese, then yourself. +1 to Popoi because we can, and I will be taking control of Reese. And it is time to go on an all-out assault and finish this mission. There we go. I believe this should finish him off now. Yes, it did. Wow. Anyways, thank you very much. You have destroyed a spammer. However, perhaps you should have started with a less, how should you say, a less combative approach. Perhaps you could have spoken to him softly, gone to a therapy session. Oh, unfortunately, that was a failure on my part. We only received an A rank. I did manage to succeed without losing one of my characters. However, it was not good enough. I needed to be faster. Anyway, let us return to your question. I've been reading both Thucydides and A Modern History of the Peloponnesian War by an author named Kagan recently. Interesting stuff. That does sound very interesting. That sounds very highbrow. However, anyways, I must remind you that we here at NPR only pretend to read intellectual works. We do not actually go out and do that. That would, of course, that has the possibility of challenging our worldview, and that is not something that could ever be allowed. Let us see here. The fire giant with the snowflake breastplate is somewhat incongruous to me. Why does the fire giant have a snowflake on its armor? Well, Enwise, you must understand that is because the fire giant has accepted the ridicule of the extreme right wing of the alt-right. He has been called a snowflake so many times, and he has internalized that hatred within himself. He now displays that badge as the snowflake that he is. Now let us move on to Chapter 5, brought to you by NPR Voice. Fairies Forest 5-2. Let us continue. Now, the ideal power is 6350, something we will need to keep in mind. However, we'll continue through here. This time we wish to make sure that Auto Venture is off, which it is. Effective is Moon and Light, not to be confused with Moonlight. Moonlight is not effective, just Moon and Light. Enwise says, you appear to be being silly, Stabity. Why, Enwise, I am highly offended by that. As you know, we here at NPR do not have any sense of humor. That is one of the things that is burnt out of our brains. Again, with most of our intelligence. That is why we speak in such a monotonous voice. And that is why we are able to maintain our point of view. Now, once again, we here at NPR must remind you that we do not condone the senseless violence that is being portrayed on this game. And in fact, if you ever encounter yourself in such a situation, you should simply provide your wallet to the person that is trying to mug you. And if you imagine that said person was black, you are a racist. However, in fair disclosure, we must say that we were thinking that same thing. However, we will never admit it. There we go. All foes are defeated. Now, let us mourn for those poor innocent creatures that were murdered by this, a clearly racist, sexist, and homophobic party of adventurers. Now, however, we did get all the mission requirements done, so for that we can be grateful, even though we must mourn the loss of life. It says that black person, however, is unlikely to be a graying man in a tuxedo with a really impressive voice. Yes, that is true. That is very true. It is almost as if there is a difference between culture and race, and that people that confuse the two are the ones that are the true racists. However, that would require this NPR host to say far more truth than is permissible on this network, or with this brain defect. Now, however, this co-op chat is something that I am fully in support of. It does not allow for a full range of expressions. It is in fact a very well censored and curated form of communication, and that is something that we of course strongly support. The loading bit has a bunny. I actually must admit I was not paying attention to that little bit, so I don't know. I will need to take a look at it on the next loading bit. In the meantime, though, I will simply use my sword to the best of my ability and engage in a more peaceful pursuit by healing myself before going on to the next area. Now again, here Sumo will use his sword of Western aggression and imperialism to kill so many of these creatures which do not deserve to be killed by him. Once again, violence does not solve our issues. Because, as we learned from the very best Star Wars movie, killing our enemies does not help us win the war. Only by protecting our friends do we win this war. Or only by protecting those we love, not by killing those we hate. Very wise words from the middle of a battlefield. Anyway, says violence solves nothing. Just ask the Carthaginians. Well, anyways, that would imply that this NPR host even knows who the Carthaginians are. However, this host does know that they were from Africa, and therefore they must have been more superior and more enlightened compared to the Romans, and not at all having a highly slave-based economy. That would of course be impossible. Anyway, as we see here, we have claimed everything from chapter 5-3. Now, however, we do have a scout quest, 5-5, the very big secret. Anyway, says, wasn't slavery invented by America or something? That is correct. America is the only nation that has ever had slaves and has a slave-based economy, and everything in America is tainted by slavery in a way that no other country is. This NPR host does not know how long he can hold such a insane position without bursting out in laughter. However, this NPR host will do everything in his power to do so. To engage in all the restraint possible. Now, fortunately, we have mapped this route out, so we will not be going down any dead ends, and we will be claiming both chests that have not been claimed yet. Well, that was an unfortunate waste. However, we will survive, and in surviving we shall continue on to the next room, following the Luna crystals. And this is a good place to break to our sponsor. Crystals. Our longtime listener of the show, Crystal, is selling healing crystals to all of NPR's most enlightened viewers. We highly recommend that you buy them and not engage in any sort of silly religious belief, but rather allow the healing power of the crystals to cure your ailments, whatever they may be. NY says, you'll show restraint. That sounds kinky. I'm sorry, I will not go down that path. Oh no, it appears that I have made a mistake, and in fact gone down the wrong path. That is quite the shock. Whatever shall I do? There's nothing there for us to do. Let us go up. And did I go right and get teleported back? I believe that is what I did, which would be a grave mistake. It seems as though I may be doing the same thing and expecting different results. However, that is odd, as people call that a sign of insanity. However, I must assure you that this NPR host has been doing that his entire life and most certainly is not insane. Ah, yes, I have remembered. This is actually just a mistake. There was no chest there, and I'm misremembering the location of it. Now let us continue down this maze, because the next chest is in fact over to the left, following Undine. No. Now, I know that I am using a very sleep-inducing voice. However, Duran, I would very much appreciate it if you did not fall asleep. We do, in fact, need you active, even though we abhor your violence. NY says I can't hear anything all of a sudden. I unfortunately do not know what you mean. My levels appear to be normal. On the off chance that you are not making a joke about my wonderful voice putting you to sleep, I will double check. With a typed message, I'm not sure what I just did. My screen went blank. Okay, good, I just stepped into the next room. Let me pause. Can you hear me now, NYs? I've posted a message in the chat and asking if you can hear me now. Now let us continue up. Following here. NY says that it may be an issue with his headphones. I am inclined to agree, as the levels are all looking correct on my side. NYs, I do wish to remind you that we here at NPR are not responsible for any brain damage that you may suffer from listening to us, and that also extends to any electronics that you may be using to listen to me. There we go, we have healed, and I am still speaking. There we go. We have reached the heal statue here, and as such, we have healed all of our ills. And let us continue on. As you can see, that statue is proof that we require socialized medicine, as medicine is in fact free, and it is only the suppressive capitalist system that has deemed that we require to pay for our medicine, when it is in fact a human right. Now let us grab this chest with some Echo Bloom, and we will continue on to face the boss of capitalism. We will now be creating a socialist collective where we may all work together in peace and harmony. Now, speaking of peace and harmony, Duran, you will need to switch out because you suffered there. We will allow the rest of our team to win. NY says, what's a Nolam? A Nolam is a racist and anti-Semitic caricature of the fine Jewish people that we love and support, except when we are supporting the Palestinians more, at which point we immediately forget all of our support for them. Now we have finished this. We will take next, and we will continue. NY says, Anolam. Right. Yes. We will, of course, criticize our opponents. NY says, also I prefer the less Jewish Nolam depiction. Well, NY, as you can see, that is clearly a proof of your ingrained anti-Semitism, which is why you prefer the less Jewish stereotype version of the Nolams. See how easy it is to prove any form of ism that we want? Now, on a fairy mission, let us go effective earth and light. This will be the last step on our story exploration, which has been going on very well so far, although I am most certain that the final fight against the boss fairy will not go well. In fact, it may be a fitting conclusion, just desserts if you will, for our heroes that have been going on this journey of violent colonialism and imperialism and wanton destruction through this entire land. No, anyways, I don't believe you understand. If you prefer the Jewish stereotype version, that is proof of your anti-Semitism that you buy into that stereotype. However, if you prefer the business cow version, the less Jewish one, then you are of course also an anti-Semite, because you do not, because you choose not to use the Jewish version. You see how it works. The conclusion has always been arranged, and the conclusion is a foregone conclusion that you are the anti-Semite. The only difference is the reasoning, and we will use whatever reasoning is necessary, because we here at NPR survive entirely on ists and isms. No? NY says, recall my hypothetical proposal for how you could do Nolam in Master of Orion 1. Not that you can, Master of Orion 1 doesn't really support new races, but I still think I had a decent idea for how they could fit in. NY, I must apologize. This NPR's host brain has been entirely rattled too much by an excess of legal marijuana and other intoxicants, and no long-term memory is able to form anymore, so I do not recall what your proposal for the Nolams in Master of Orion 1 was. Anyway, we'll hit OK. We're doing quite well here on this mission. As you can see, we are now at 61 out of 81. We just require 20 more to complete. Now 20, that does not sound entirely right to me. Let us check what we're missing. Oh, I know, we're missing 18 here. That is 6 stages on very hard, with 3 stars each. And on hard, we are missing 2. No, that is incorrect. We're missing 3. There we go, yes. We're missing 3 there, and 2 here. Well, I believe onward ambassadors 6860, 5750. I believe this is something that we should pursue today. So, let us begin by recharging a little bit of our AP. Remember, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. So we'll take a little drink, a happy little drink of AP stamina, and continue on. And we'll begin here with onward ambassadors, and get those missing missions. It should not be too much of a problem. I says, I propose their ability would be to double the effect of investment put into Industry Slider, which would allow them to develop planets faster, and to move money into the reserve without waste. But wouldn't increase peak output, like the Mechlars or Clacons. Speaking of happy little drinks, I'm sorry I must delay on the redemption of that request, as I must first clear out the enemies on this mission, so that we do not get hurt too badly. There we go. That is that. Now let me redeem your hydration request. There. A happy little drink. Let us move on to the next side. Jellyface here. I believe it is a good opportunity for Sumo to come and show what he is capable of, using his ST to clear things out over here, as well as a Mega Spirit Magic. And get out of the line of fire just in time, and allow Duran to return and use his very good break armor skill, which does a wonderful job of eating straight through our opponents. Now, before we move on to the final room, I believe it is imperative that Sumo does a little bit of healing on Popoi and Reese. And now, Duran can return to the front. I also propose they be good at construction and computer tech categories and poor at weapons. Yes, that is very fitting. There we go. Very good job, Duran. And let us use the Mega Spirit Magic. I seem to recall you thought that was reasonable, elegant implementation of the basic concepts in Master of Orion 1 mechanics. Yes, I certainly do agree. It does sound like a reasonable way. They build up fast, build up their colonies quickly, and then they'll stagnate a little lower than the Mechlars and Clacons, but in the end it will be a rather fairly balanced. They'll simply need to grow more in the early stages. Now, let us continue on. See where we can go. Here we go. We have cleared out last remaining missions, and 5-12 continues to be restricted. However, this means we are down to 6 missions. That means 5 missions on very hard, starting from 5-8. So in other words, you have 5-8, 5-10, 5-11, 5-12, and 5-14 clear out on very hard, plus 5-12 on hard must be completed. Now, as you can see, that earlier in today's stream, we failed to clear out the final mission on Chapter 13. As such, we will not be trying to clear out Chapter 5 just yet on hard mode. However, that is something that we will return to shortly. Now, that is enough for the story. Should we do a training quest? I actually don't believe we should. I believe we should be satisfied with what we have. However, we do have a mission we have completed. Is it that training quest that we did earlier? No, it is not. We already claimed that. Ah, here we go. Clear main quest chapter 5. On a ferry mission, very hard. let us claim that fairy mission gem. And... oh, gift box. Yes, gift box. These are the things that we got from the exploration mission. 3 Echo Blooms and 10 experience tomes. They're a very nice thing to add to our collection. I will, of course, cherish them. Anyways, that rabbit that you were saying is on the loading screen, that is actually not a rabbit, but a rabbite. A very different creature. It is the mascot of the Mana series. A well-beloved creature. And doubling industry investments, again, makes it so they're better at making use of the reserve. To shift investment between colonies, which it seems appropriate. Yes, it seems very much like a banking skill, you could even say. Now, we did need to go to memory gems, because we did gain a new one. So let us go. We can see if this is a duplicate, which I do believe it is. But of course, we must check first. Now, if I could perhaps find it. Now, this is a new gem that we received, so I will, of course, be locking it. Seekers of Mana. While making his escape from Glaive Castle, Sumo overhears a suspicious exchange between the Dark Lord and Julius. Who is it that dares spy on me? Time to take my exit. You will tell my secrets to no one. And NY says, banking. Oy vey. As you can see, you have internalized that anti-Semitism. Anyway, this is not a new one. In fact, we were already up to 2 levels, and now we can get it up to +3, which is a very nice boost. We shall unleash it. Level 45. Very nice. And it does recover 14 mana every 10 seconds. A somewhat useful skill, although admittedly with how short the battles tend to be, it may not be the most useful of skills. Now, this is a 4-star memory gem that we do need to lock, now that we're not suffering from the defect or bug that was causing problems for us last time. There is another 4-star gem that can be locked, Machine Golem Shuffle. And those are all of our 4-star gems, locked up nicely as they should be. Now let us double check. Hawk? We do not have a 3-star Hawk. Nope, he has already been used and properly leveled. He is at +2. I do remember we did that nicely. Very good. Very good. Let us double check this. Plant Maw. Likewise, we do not have any duplicates of it, so we can go ahead and lock. Freak Show and Tell. Ah yes. That is the other Sumo memory gem that we were speaking of. And we do have that claimed. Let us double check the remaining 3-star gems. The wheels, we definitely have. Little Cactus, I definitely have. These two we do have, and in fact we will be able to max them out. Buju Breakout, and get it up to +4 maximum. While fueled and active, ST gauge +10% every 5 seconds. That is actually a reasonable thing to have on one of our units. Actually, that is perhaps a great thing to have on Mousseline, so that she can regain her healing ST while in the back row, and then switch out to the front and immediately use it. That is something I definitely will need to consider, because that is a very good use of that. Anyway, we'll finish up by locking the remaining 3-star memory gems, and I believe at that point it will be a good place to end the episode. stream. Little cactus, little cactus, little cactus, let us lock you. We will not allow any harm to befall you, little cactus. Kitty peddlers, you shall also be locked. Though I have a slight feeling that we had one of those before. However, a quick review does confirm that we did not, so it does appear to be just my imagination. Oh, but here is one mistake that I made. So how are rabbites different from rabbits? Well, rabbites are actually just little balls with rabbit ears. To the best of my knowledge, they do not have any legs. This is the mistake that we had. Armored Inferno Assault. There we go. It's better. We can max out Armored Inferno Assault and get the level cap all way up to level 50, which is a very nice level cap in my opinion. Let's go back and continue. Clearing this section out. Flammy, we definitely do not have a Flammy quite yet. I recall Flammy being a new recovery, so let's come here, White Dragon Child, lock you. There is nothing to unleash, and we will not be leveling it up either, so we are good for now. That cleared out. Is there? Those are the memory gems cleared, yes. Allies, we shall take a quick peek at allies. Well, I don't believe there is anything of note that needs to be done. No, there is not. We can worry about that, the 1-star Nitwit and the 1-star Nitwit that has been leveled up into a 2-star Nitwit. So, oh no, I already read that question. It just appeared as if it was new on my other screen. Let us go to missions first. And we'll just be doing a quick review of our event missions, or rather our special missions. As we can see, all that's left is S-ranking Twilble Tower 60 and 70, and ascending that 1-star Nitwit 20 times, and we just require 3 more of them. As such, we will be very close to proceeding then. However, bingo, we simply need to finish Chapter 5, which I believe we can do within the next day or two, and leave us plenty of time for the 30-day deadline. Under regular, upgrade memory gem, it may be worthwhile for me to grind upgrading memory gems off-screen, as well as upgrading gear off-screen. It's something that I'll consider, and it's something that I no longer consider worth showing on stream, and something that can be used for offline grinding. Lucre Trove is of course something that we will not proceed until we're given more 2 times Lucre rewards. Awakening an ally, that will happen eventually, although it may end up needing to wait for at least a little while, but we'll definitely proceed there. Human, a sheep, and a fairy. Our main quest, Chapter 5, a dangerous fairy. So we will need to do that as well, and we will have Chapter 5 cleared, and we will gain all of these rewards. It's very nice. Our regular mission list will be rather short as well there. That has proceeded. No, we are in the right place. We simply need to... Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. We need to go to quests one more time. One more time. We will go to events, Coffer Chaos. And as always, the same bug is affecting us, where it says remaining tries 0, even though we have not done any today, because it simply resets every other day. It is a very strange event, and something that I hope they fix and provide apology for. But in the meantime, we are complete with today's stream. I will be draining the rest of the SP offline, using that for training, item dungeons, and continuing getting more of the medals that we need. Primarily Zephyrs, as both Prim and Randy require Zephyr medals. But on that note, let us return home. Yes, as you can see, the rabbite is just a little circle with a rabbit tail and rabbit ears and a mouth and nose, but nothing else. It does not have the feet of a rabbit, it simply bounces as a blob. This has been Bring Stabity, your late night NPR video game host. Please remain brain damaged, and I will see you in a less annoying voice tomorrow. Please like, follow, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. And we will resume this time. This is Bring Stabity for NPR, signing off.